Well, welcome back to Pennsylvania. If you hear a little chuckle in my voice, it's because we've had a heck of a time, and we were having I would say, a spirited discussion about the plausible end. But I will tell you, I'm absolutely worn out, and I think the writing's on the wall for how this game would turn out. So just a couple turns short. We're calling it, and I won't even really get into the details. I don't want to give you a play-by-play because that's not what the purpose of this video is. This is what I would call the final test before Doug could possibly issue this. It doesn't mean it's perfect. Doesn't mean that there won't be a change or an FAQ that would be produced afterwards. None of our games. I mean, even version 4 has multiple FAQs. And that's not a critique. It's just the wonderful contributions of the community in providing context and questions and observations and improvements. So anyways, what did we get out of this for the weekend? We made a change in the engineering tech that the warden was able to provide really good input on the sequence in which the technology becomes better and better for the players. And so we did make a change in our engineering tech, but none of the tech itself changed, just the sequence. We did add balance to Russia and France that we didn't play, but we just recognize that it's much needed. The peers in this game, I'm sure everybody knows, are Germany and Britain. But Russia and France are the next peers. And I will tell you, players, if you're listening and you're playing a 5-player game, while you may not be in a formal alliance, you need to make friends. And we saw that in this game between other friends that were able to, it's not that they didn't eventually go to war with each other, but they respected each other's room for some period there. We made some clarification in the objectives and minor updates to a couple of the units, incredibly small updates. So, just a reminder, we, as part of the design principle, the core rules, or there's bridging rules, but the core rules of Global 14, Global 36, we continue to protect those. Even though I've gotten some input, people would like to change one or two things, but maybe I get a little spirited when we start mucking up with things that people are already familiar with in Global 14 and Global 36. But there are a lot of bridging rules that you're going to have to learn. And even Tim and I, as we have played it multiple times, have to refer back to the rule book just to make sure. There are 7 new units in this game. You can see some of them out there on the map. If I see them, I'll point them out. But motorcycles and partisans, we do have some partisans that have been appearing, even over there in China. But we have partisans on the map. And they could be, they can draw your attention. They won't change the game, but they can definitely draw your attention. You got to deal with them. And we do continue to keep some, I would say, more control in the hands of the player. It's not scripted. There's no bonuses. There's no exceptions. There's no big reset. There's no Global 14, got to reset the Russian Empire because it collapsed. There's no collapse and creation of Vichy France. Those are big resets that don't exist in this game. So what is it about this game? Tech is king. Alliances are a must, especially even the gentleman's agreements. So if you can't align a country to you, like Greece to the British or the Ottomans to Germany, then you need to talk to your friends and you need to be friendly. You're going to need friends. Secret objectives, to me, are unnerving. Until it's really evident what people are doing, it's hard to figure out which direction you should go, how far you should extend yourself when you also need to protect yourself, probably just like real life. Like we said, it's not formulaic. You you won't have a script in your mind or the best new strategy on how to, defend the Black Sea as the Soviets in Global 36, or how to crush Vichy and by turn 8 in Global 36, and et cetera, or how to get the Russians to collapse in Global 14. That doesn't exist. So there's no formula. You're going to be making it up as you go. You have to be cautious about signaling your intent. And I'll give you an example. I aligned the Austrians very early in this game as the French player. And when I did that, the German player felt threatened. I could have signaled my intent to be a friendly power by pulling units back. I didn't really want to go to war with the Germans, but I didn't. And Germany took that as a provocative act. And between Germany and Russia, they crunched the Austrians. But fortunately, it did take a while. I was pretty happy with the new balance that we have in Austria. But you have to be careful how you signal your intent. You have to look ahead and think about other people's objectives. If you are going to try and figure out what those secret objectives are, whether they're national or random, or if you have never played the Chinese Civil War, don't let a card get drawn that you've never seen before and be totally shocked by it. You have to spend some time studying the game and looking ahead and thinking about what is in the art of the possible if you're going to make any heads or tails about the decisions that you're going to make. It is a long game. It's 25 turns. You start rolling for the the variable ending on turn 22. But you don't have to achieve your objectives early. In fact, if you do, you might become the object of everybody's scorn and attacks. So you will want to posture and maintain your secrets for a long period of time. And France, as I said earlier, France and Russia are peers. They are the underdogs. If you play a 5-player game where France is involved, because they're the 5th player in a normal 5-player game, you need to be a silver-tongued devil and you need to make friends, because if you do not find some way to create some level of support and generate really a cautious air with the Germans, so that the Germans aren't as aggressive because they have threats on both sides, then you could find yourself quickly out of the game. Now, it's we're ending this game at turn 20 or 19, and France is still in the game. They could be out, but ironically, one of the reasons they're not out of the game is because other nations who they are at war with are ensuring that that certain actions are taken that kind of keep them alive, because they know that a France out of the game is actually not good for them. So it's kind of interesting. Sometimes the enemy of your enemy is your friend, right? We've seen that before. Just a quick look at tech, mostly because some of you are going to play this game and you're going to go, oh my gosh, 25 turns, you'll get to the end of I can never get to the end of the tech, I've heard that, or I'm going to get there really fast. Just to give you an example, the Americans have 7 major factories, and they are rolling 8 tech rolls per turn. And here we are on turn 19, and they haven't even completed. And I think the closest any other nation is 4 major factories. So, and the British with 3 major factories are right there behind the Americans. So again, the dice have a big say in what is accomplished. And when it comes to diplomacy, again, almost near the end of the game, and we see the vast majority of the alignable minor powers are aligned. In fact, failed to push Brazil up when they did align. So that's a little housekeeping. But otherwise, those are some of the observations, some of the things we've done. Feel really good about this. Want to thank Doug and his support of the idea and the potential publication that may occur in the upcoming months. And thank him for the gift cards for a couple of the players, the winners at the table. And just wish you well. And look to the next few weeks when the announcement is made and this comes out. Hope you enjoy it.